Yep. Welcome, guys. Welcome back to the channel. As you can see today, no Justin, no Julian, because they have better things to do on a Saturday. They told us. So it's Malik, who
Yep.
is a member. He joined the members club, and he has to come on. So here he is. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. To introduce myself to everyone, my name is Malik. I'm a Saudi Juve fan, obviously, living in London. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much all you need to know.
That's it. Okay, that's enough. Um, so yeah. Wait. Let me see that. Let me check the settings. Okay, that's good. Um, so yeah. Wait, before we go into the game, I think the Lazio game ended 0-0, right?
Yeah, it did.
Okay,
Which
so
means if we beat Milan tomorrow,
yeah,
we'd go ahead of Atalanta by 1 point. But then again, Atalanta
they have a game in
still
hand.
need to play Torino. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a game in hand, but it's important because as you say, like you say, if we beat them, we go ahead. Even if they have a game in hand, you never know.
Mm.
But it's more important because after the international break, we have Verona, and then we have Atalanta away, and Milan have Inter after
Yeah.
international break. So winning tomorrow, it's a big one. Like we need to win.
Yeah.
But we will talk about that later in the show. We just go with today's news a bit, which is again it's Sport. So I mean, everybody wants to believe. Like to be honest, they reported the Ronaldo story.
Yeah, that's literally the only thing they've gotten right, and ever since then it's been downhill. And before that, even.
Yeah, I agree. Like it's not the best source. It isn't. It used to be. In the past, it really used to be, but now it's bad. But they said basically that we are prepared to pay 60 million euros for Vlahovic now. So this month, which is weird because, well, like we always heard from the media, also to the sport, saying we have no money to spend now. So, do you believe the story?
No. I don't think we're gonna sign Vlahovic in January. He said from the start of the season that he wants to end the season with Fiorentina and get them to Europe. And plus, it doesn't make any sense. We can barely afford to bring in someone like Guimaraes, who's for 40 million, and we can't even get him. And now they're saying, well, we want Vlahovic for 60 million in January. I think it's possible in the summer because his value is going to decrease. And I feel like the Vlahovic situation is going to be similar to the Chiesa situation, where Fiorentina got cornered into selling him to us.
I agree. I think they created the situation, and like I'm not saying Vlahovic is the same like Locatelli that he only wants to join us, but him refusing Arsenal, who are paying like money he shouldn't be getting at this stage of his career. A bit like De Ligt, like he shouldn't be on 12 mil with bonuses or 10. Like it's too much already. And he's refusing that. So again, it's Arsenal. I think he's smart. Like, like you shouldn't be joining Arsenal at this moment. If you really shouldn't. Like they're not a good team, and they're not gonna compete anytime soon because City, Liverpool are far ahead. Man U and Chelsea. Again, Man U isn't really great this season, but they have more firepower. Like they can spend more. They will be up there. Arsenal, they're not up there. So the fact that he's refusing them now, and the fact that the reports are saying that his agent is not even picking up his phone, makes you think that Vlahovic, he knows what he wants. Like he doesn't want. Yeah, he wants money. Everybody wants money, but like at this stage of his career, he's not choosing money. It seems, um, and I think that's the only thing that keeps his dream alive for me because I actually don't believe we have 60 million euros, not even in the summer. I have no idea where we're gonna get that money unless we sell the lake.
Yeah, exactly. I think if we were to sign Vlahovic at some point, we'd need to have a big sale, and obviously maybe like De Ligt or someone else leaves. Apparently, we could sell Bentancur this winter. I don't know how true that is, but then again, Boca Juniors have a 40% resale, which
50,
is
50,
50%. Like
50.
if we sell him for 25 million to Aston Villa, we'd only get 12.5 million. So I don't know where this money is going to come from, but Vlahovic, yeah, I think it's common knowledge that he wants to join Juve. And we've had an agreement with him, according to reports, Nico Shira, and amongst others, for 6 million salary. But I don't know. And then we need to make our moves with the finances, but I genuinely have no idea where it's going to come from.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like if Vlahovic really says in the summer, I want to join Juve, sort it out basically, tells Fiorentina just make it happen, find a deal. I don't think Fiorentina has many options. Like their owner Rocco Commisso, he talks a lot, but he's not benching Vlahovic.
He's a Juventino too, by the way.
Yeah, he claims to be, but like with things he says, I really doubt that.
Exactly. Yeah.
But like in the summer, like Fiorentina's not gonna say no. We're not gonna sell you to Juve if we have the money. You're gonna stay here for one season. We will bench you, and you will leave on a free. I don't think Fiorentina is not in a position to do that. They're not that type of club. Also because Rocco Commisso brags that he puts his own money in the club and he's taking shots at everyone in the league. So he needs to force it for us. I think if this were to happen in the summer, he needs to force it, because maybe we can find 60 million, but then the problem will be we need to pay that like we did with Chiesa or like with Locatelli over. Like the first part should be in 2023, and then you need Fiorentina to agree with it after we did that with Chiesa.
Yeah, exactly, and it's a financial burden because we owe so much money to many clubs now. We Locatelli still isn't permanent, Chiesa still isn't permanent, and Ken still isn't permanent. So that's like a lot of money to pay, and like compounding that with a similar deal with Vlahovic isn't going to help us in the future. I still think though that his value is going to go down in the summer because he's going to have a year left on his contract. But I feel like then, as I said, Fiorentina would be forced into selling him. Then Commisso, if he ends up selling him to us, he'd say, "Well, I had no choice. The finances are a priority, especially during these days."
Yeah, his value should be dropping in the summer. But the only thing that kind of scares me is, let's say, like Man City, they need a striker. They're looking for one since, I don't know, 2 years. They wanted Kane in the summer, Harry Kane. It didn't happen. So they're gonna get a striker this summer. They are. Arsenal need a striker, but then again, he's refusing Arsenal. Real Madrid, Barcelona, maybe Chelsea because they're not happy with Lukaku. But who's gonna pay even 80, 70 mil for Lukaku? I doubt anyone is doing that.
Remember when we were this close to signing Lukaku?
Yeah.
2019? Yeah.
Jesus. Like, I'm so happy it didn't happen. I live in Belgium.
Dybala.
I live in Belgium. So he's so loved over here. Like, he's, how do you want to say it? Like, he's the main guy.
Yeah, he's like the national pride.
Yeah, he's basically that. He is, and he's all-time top scorer and all those things, and that's great. He scores a lot of goals. But on the ball, it's bad. Like, his first touch is like, his hold up play is great, but the moment he needs to link up play properly, consistently, or needs to go past the player, it's not good. So I think Chelsea will look for a new striker. I really think that. I like going off the reports. So there are a lot of teams in the mix for Vlahovic, Haaland, Mbappe, who's free, Lewandowski. There are rumors that he wants to leave. So I think that's the only fear, that if there will be a bidding war, basically, we have no chance. We don't.
Yeah.
That's my only fear for Vlahovic in the summer.
And the thing is, it's really hard not to see other clubs coming in for him because he has a year left on his contract, and this is one of the most coveted names in Europe this season.
Yeah, that's true. Like,
yeah.
Like, if we have a free run for him, it will be crazy. Like, it will, like, besides Arsenal, it will be unbelievable. Like, if you tell me in the summer we're basically the only team in for him, I will not believe you. I will call you a liar. Like, that's impossible for a player of his caliber. That's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
But you never know. You never
Yeah,
know.
we'll see.
It's basically the same with Locatelli. It was just us and Arsenal,
Yeah,
and he
it's
played.
always us and Arsenal nowadays.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Basically, that's it. But yeah, to close that basically topic, he's not coming in January. Like, it's not happening. Fiorentina's not selling to us in January, even if they know his value can drop with, let's say, 8 million, 5 million. I think they will take that drop rather than sell them now, because I said they're in a top 4 race, and someone in the comments say they're not, but actually they are. If they win,
They are.
if they win, and they're like 5 points, 6 points of Atalanta, that's not much. I'm not saying they're making top 4, but they're pushing to make Europa League at least, qualifications without knockout rounds, just straight qualifications for Europa League. So they're not selling to us in January.
Yeah, and and we're basically ahead of them by a place. So we're the rivals in a sense
Yeah,
this season for top 4, top 5.
yeah. I agree. Let me see in the comments. Home of Juve is saying thanks for 2K. Thank you, because, well, you subscribe, not we. But thanks. Let me see. Well, Guardiola prefers no striker or small strikers like Aguero, Messi, now Alvarez. He wants a striker. Like, they basically said we're talking with Keane, so I don't think he prefers to play with no striker, because they were after Harry Kane, and if you get Harry Kane, he's playing every game, like he is, because he's one of the best strikers in the world. So, but to be honest, I don't see him. I don't see him. I don't see. I don't see him playing with Vlahovic.
It doesn't strike me as that Pep
No,
player. Not at all.
no, because like he's someone who likes to attack the box, likes to take some shots from far. Like, he's a different striker. I don't see him fitting in that City team. Also, the way they play, I can be completely wrong, but I find it really hard to see. Even when the summer when they were linked with Ronaldo, at the time I said, like, this cannot be true. Like, he doesn't fit. He doesn't fit what Guardiola does. With the high press, like, I think 5 games and he leaves Man City. Ronaldo, if he needs to play that pressing system for an entire season, I think after 5 games he's out. He's out of there. But yeah. And Anina asked the question: is Vlahovic a Guardiola type of striker? I don't think so, to be honest. Not really, but I can be completely wrong, because there are talks about Haaland, and if you watch him at Dortmund, like, on the counter, he's okay. He can make the runs in the box, but like on the counter, that's his main thing. Like, he's fast. He bullies players because he's physically so strong. So I can see him doing well there. But Vlahovic, no.
But the thing is, Vlahovic is still young. He could still evolve his game more. You could see it this season a bit. Like, his link-up players improved tremendously since last season. I think, at least.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I forgot the name of the coach now. Italiano.
Yeah.
He's done an amazing job with Fiorentina. They have a good squad. Fiorentina.
Yeah, they added Piontek and Kone as well, which is huge. We were gonna give them Kulusevski according to La Gazzetta dello Sport.
Yeah, that's not happening.
No, that's not happening. No.
that's
not at all. Yeah.
No chance. Because also they got Ikone, who can play that position.
Exactly. But I do think if Kulusevski in some fantasy land went to Fiorentina and we got Vlahovic, he'd do well under Italiano. I think he's that type of player. You know? I think he'd go well on the right side.
But like, he can probably in the summer he can go. Like, in the summer, summer he could have gone Bayern.
I think the whole reason Kulusevski is still a Juve player is because Chiesa tore his ACL.
I agree.
He would have been gone by now, I think.
I agree. I think I think the club would have listened to offers if there were offers in January. But what happened with Chiesa, like, you cannot take any risk.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, I'm not saying it's great if he plays. Same for Berendesky. I said it many times. It's just hit and miss. Like, sometimes it looks good, and most of the time it looks just
Mm,
frustrating. It's just
yeah.
frustrating. So, but like, you cannot. I saw people saying play Sule, play Ake. That's
No,
not
you can't
happening.
play these play. Yeah, you can't play these play. Sure, I like Sule. I like Ake. They look good with under 23, but playing them now in such a time of the season as well is completely unrealistic. Especially Allegri. Allegri would never do
No,
that
no,
as
no.
well.
You will not do that because, like, we will talk about the lineup, and I'll tell you now, Arthur is not playing. And is anyone shocked? I don't think nobody's shocked.
Yeah, after his
No.
amazing, amazing game against Sampdoria, no,
I watched a
not
press
surprised.
conference and he was saying, "Oh, but he's in a great player. You cannot doubt his qualities." And then you bench him.
When Allegri says that, you know a player is
you
getting
know
benched.
he's
We've seen it so many times.
you know he's done. He's done. If Arsenal would have paid, if Arsenal said, "Yeah, we do the obligation or we do the 18-month loan," we would be out of here.
Yeah,
Um, like, he also said, "Oh, he didn't play for 6 months," and he didn't play for 6 months, but he's back for 2.5 months now. That's a kind
yeah,
of
he's
bullshit
been back for a
excuse.
while.
Like, he's fit, he can play. You don't need me. Just tell the truth, basically, and just say the way we play, it doesn't really fit him in certain type of games. Because we can all see it. Like, every big game, he's not playing,
Yeah, it's Rabiot Bentancur, Rabiot Bentancur.
and they're bad, Like, they're bad.
Yeah,
They're playing because he doesn't trust Arthur to do
exactly.
that defensive work basically on his own, and he
Yeah,
forces Locatelli. Locatelli can play that position, but I think we're
look at it.
wasting him a bit.
Yeah, he's so wasted. Next season, I hope we could get this like holding midfielder Regista, so Locatelli can play as an eight.
Because I will ask you a question because Julian asked
Mm.
me that question last week, and he said, knowing what you know now with
Yeah.
Arthur, with Locatelli, would you have taken Pjanic on a 1 year loan in the summer?
Yes, I would because first thing, Pjanic and Allegri have a really good relationship,
Yeah.
and yes, Pjanic is old and is declining, but still, I think it would have given Locatelli that freedom. Yeah, we've seen him play as the eight against Sampdoria, against Roma. He looked phenomenal, tremendous,
Yeah.
And I think we play our best football when attacking football, at least when Artur and Locatelli play together. But that just never happens.
I agree. I think we do play our best football when, especially when Locatelli is higher up the pitch, and we've seen
Yeah,
it again. It was Sampdoria. It was even Sampdoria's B team.
exactly.
But the things Locatelli, and people say, "Oh, but he gave the ball away," and I'm like, that's okay if it, like, I'm not saying just give the ball away for fun, but there was kind of end product. Like, it was dangerous when you had the ball. Like, something happened or you make things happen, then I'm okay with giving away the ball, especially against those smaller clubs, smaller teams.
Exactly.
That's fine. I doubt if he was playing Milan, he wouldn't be giving the ball away that much. He would be more cautious with it. I'm pretty sure about that. But in the summer, I remember everybody was against Pjanic. Because basically, I think everybody expected when Arthur comes back from injury, he will play. And Allegri said that when he was still
Yeah.
injured, he said, "Oh, when he comes back, he will improve our midfield quality immensely because, well, he's that type of player. Now he's
And
back,
and
and
I think Allegri wasn't impressed with him in training. His defensive output, and that's what
I
made him.
I agree. I agree, and I understand him because, but that's not Arthur. That's not Arthur's fault. He's not that type of player. He isn't.
Exactly.
He's physically, like, sometimes on the ball. He kind of scares me when he needs to
Yeah.
go in a duel. Like, he isn't that type of player. Like, he's kind of scared. Like, Pjanic isn't a big, strong dude, but he loves to do that. Like, he's okay with going into a challenge. Arthur is not that, and
Yeah.
if you cannot do that, Allegri, he doesn't really rate you.
And that Arthur, especially, one thing he does is when he plays as a regista, is that he takes the ball and he spins around with it
Yeah,
so many
yeah.
times. It panic, your heart rate just goes up constantly.
And
Stress.
that's weird because like most of the people when you just go online or even in the media, they say our build up is very stale, very slow, and all those things. And I don't remember which game it was, but it was one game where Allegri said, I think the second game Arthur played when he was back. After the game, he said he needs to speed up the game more. Sometimes he holds on to the ball too much, which is true.
Pirlo said the same thing last
Pirlo
year.
said the same thing, yeah, which is true. Sometimes he holds on to it way too much, even against Sampdoria at times, and then he tends to lose it because he holds it on too much.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe that's criticism uh, for him coming from Allegri. But then again, like we under Allegri we don't play fast attacking football, so it's kind of weird that he said that because like I mean we play that. That's Allegri football basically. It's kind of slow. It is slow.
Exactly. Every time Allegri says we need to score more goals, we need to
Yeah.
be more proactive, I just sit there and laugh. You just look at him like, but you're telling these players to sit back most of the game.
Yeah. That's true because he said also against Udinese that should be our DNA moving
Oh,
forward. And I was
oh
like,
God.
yeah, we won and we didn't give away anything against Udinese. Like we were clean. It was just like a normal Juve win. What we did basically the last 9 years, basically we just won.
Yeah,
It wasn't just we just came into games and we won. But like that shouldn't be our game plan. Like
yeah.
maybe that's our limitations this season. But going off the last years with Allegri, I think it's also a bit on him.
Mm,
It's not.
for sure.
It's just not like I understand that we don't have the type of players uh, to play great football. Because remember when he first come in 2015, 16, even 17, we played very well. We played
Yeah,
actually very good football on transition. We were great. It was fun to watch. It was fun to watch. And after that, like when and it's normal. Like if you think about it, when Vidal left, Pirlo left, Pogba left, like it's normal that the quality goes down.
yeah,
But it went down extremely.
yeah.
Because
And
like yeah,
because like we basically had one of the best midfields in the world. The quality was here, okay.
yeah,
And then when all these players left, it was here. And then we had like Pjanic, Khedira, and Matuidi, who did well with their capabilities and considering their age and everything. But still, that quality is tremendously low than what we have. And now it's much worse. Locatelli is the only bright spot, and maybe McKennie.
I agree because I remember when we had Pjanic, Matuidi, and Khedira. I remember people complaining because we came from what we came from. But thinking about now, I would
Yeah,
take them back any day of the any
took
day
them
of the
for
week.
granted. Yeah,
I would
took
take
them
them
so much
back
for granted.
because Khedira, when he was fit in the first years, he was very good. I liked Khedira, and
I'll never, I'll
uh,
never forget that one time he scored a hat trick against Udinese. It was a very
yeah,
funny match. We
yeah,
had a red card, then we won 6-2.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I don't want to put all the blame on Allegri because the quality has come down, and the team, we said it many times, is built very strange. It's not. It's built by not by three coaches, but for three coaches, and we have players who are just not good enough, and we know that for years, and they're still at the club, which is kind of weird. Uh, but it is what it is. The next thing I want to talk about was basically the Betancourt news. You touched on it. So basically, Aston Villa are interested in Betancourt, which is fine, but the club is not selling him in January. I would be shocked if the club says because I believe the club wants to sell him. Like I think it's over. Like if there are reports saying that Allegri is not satisfied with Betancourt, which is big because he was one of his favorite players, if you
Yeah.
remember. So I think they have no problem in selling Betancourt, but I think they have a problem in selling Betancourt now in January.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you think? Do you think it's possible?
I think it's unrealistic in January. I personally think the only player leaving this January is Ramsey to Paris. It's finished. Allegri even said it today is on his
Yeah,
way out. So Bentancur, it's hard to imagine him leaving. Arthur, Arsenal don't look like they want to give the obligation to buy, so we won't accept the deal. I think if somehow Bentancur were to leave, maybe we'd recall Rovella because I've heard that a bit. So we'll see. But final thing, I don't think he's gonna leave this winter. Bentancur.
I don't think so. I don't think even Aston Villa will do a bit, and I don't believe he will accept join Aston Villa. Going from Juve
Yeah.
to Aston Villa, it's wow, it's a massive downgrade. Like, let's be realistic here.
Yeah.
It's going from, knock on wood, I'm not saying we're making Champions League football, but like it's going from European football and normally competing
A
for
club.
Europa League. Maybe, I mean, yeah, they have money, Aston Villa, and I like what they're doing. They have some good players. I like Gerrard as a manager. He's kind of, yeah, he's good. Like, I'm surprised. He's actually a good manager. But like going from Juve to Aston Villa, I think you need to pay him a lot of money for him to say, yeah, I will leave Juve and I'm coming Aston Villa. And I don't think that's gonna happen. But to be honest, this is the first time, besides an Atletico link, I think it was 2019, that there is an actual link with
Yeah.
Betancourt. Like
I was thinking the same. I was shocked when I saw the news today because no one is ever linked to Bentancur. No one.
no,
I remember the Atletico link. It was after his, I think, the season with Sari.
yeah,
He
yeah.
was good that season. I think he was probably a best midfielder that season.
I
Him and
agree.
Pjanic.
I agree.
But yeah, it just goes to show like what kind of player he is for us. You know.
Yeah, it's I don't even know what until when his contract runs out. Is it 23? I'm not sure. But his time is up. Like I try to defend him way too long. Like I
Yeah.
did.
Same. Me too.
But it's over. Like he's getting worse every season, and that's not a good sign. Like it's a bit like Sandro, but then Sandro hit a very high level, but the Betancourt never
Yeah.
hit that level. But ever since that level, like his best, it's just going down, 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 down. And every time Betancourt plays, I just watch him and I think, what are you good at? Like, what do you add to the squad? 24, says Hanin. So, yeah, that that better be a good legit option because 24 is long. But every time I watch Betancourt, I'm like, okay, what are you good at except winning the ball back? But even that, he doesn't do consistently.
Exactly.
So it's just frustrating to see him play. But you need to move on from him. Same from Betancourt, Rabiot, Ramsey. Like you need to rebuild that midfield because we know that's the weakest link of. Normally you have one, two weak links in a squad. We have like three. Like we have an entire midfield.
Exactly.
That's unbelievable.
I went to the Chelsea Juve game when we got destroyed 4-0.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, like Bentancur and Rabiot on the wings. Oh,
Yeah.
it was absolutely painful. So especially in real life,
Oh, okay.
Rabiot and Bentancur. Oh, it's the headache I got afterwards is I wouldn't wish it on anyone, you know.
Yeah, it's bad. Like the technical quality between those midfielders is just painful. Like it's not good enough. And besides technically, even awareness sometimes when I said it many times when Rabiot leaves the ball, he tends to just stand Still,
He's very static.
he's super static.
He looks very disinterested when he plays. That's
Yeah,
something I've noticed.
because like Pirlo said it, Allegri said it, Sarri said it, that he has the abilities, the body to do much better. And sometimes you can see when he runs with the ball, it's very
Yeah.
hard to get him off the ball, but he does that so little.
It feels like he plays at 40% of his
Yeah,
potential. As you said, he's a big player. He's tall. He has good technical qualities, and he shows it sometimes. But he doesn't show it enough. You know,
I agree.
like Rabiot has one good game every 8, 9, 10 games, and that's just not good enough, especially at Juve.
No, I agree. I think when you have one game, like you said, one good game every 10 games, you should know as a club this is not working. And if this happens 2-3 seasons in a row, it's kind of insane that they're still at the club. Like you need to find a solution at some point. Like I get it, there are no offers, but you disrespected Mandzukic for not wanting to leave, and who did way more for the club than any of those players. And then you're sitting here and accepting that these players are just staying at the club and basically stinking out the place every game they play. It's
It's disgraceful. Yeah, it's disgraceful. What this management did to players like Mandzukic, like Marquisio. Marquisio is one of my favorite Juve players all time. And the way they just let him go out the door is just disgraceful. Whilst players like Rabiot, Bentancur are still given so many chances, although they haven't done anything for you.
No, I agree. Same with Del Piero. Like he was disrespected.
Yeah, exactly.
He's still not returned to the club. He's still, which is insane. Like Agnelli doesn't really like him, and that's unbelievable because he is like, if you say Juve, let's say 70% of the people say Del Piero. It is he's the face of the club basically, and he's not returned to the club ever since he left. Maybe for TV work, but just actually invited to the club, that's not normal. And I think not a lot of people are talking about it in the media or just in general, people with influence. That's kind of disgraceful. It is.
It is.
And that's what you need to know. Like, again, we won 9 titles in a row, like insane. You need to credit the management for it. Like, but I hate when people act like everything they do is perfect. Everything they do is good, and and if you say something, they will say, "Oh, you're disrespectful. You're spoiled. They won you 9 titles in a row. You cannot say anything wrong about them." That's not true. Like, the club says that many times. The past. Like, we won today. It's done. We move on. So we as fans, we move on, and it's not good at the moment. And it's okay to call that out, in my opinion. It's okay.
The reason we're in the position we are today is because of the management, plain and simple. Plain and simple.
It is. And because also, I saw someone say, it was an article, I don't know where it was. Was it the March or the English side? I'm not sure. But they were basically saying that Cherubini is already on thin ice. And I'm like, how? He just came in and he needs to resolve.
He just got appointed 6 months ago.
And he needs to resolve a mess with basically no money. How is this his fault?
Exactly. Like, and the Riva Bene was brought in to sort the finances. So it's a work in progress. You know, it's not gonna happen like this.
No, they need time. We made a podcast, I think last week, and we called it 2 Summers Job. And I think that's at least 2 summers. Because as you know, and like we said, Rabiot, they're still at the club because there are no offers for those players. So Sandro, like, if there's no offer, they'll be at the club next season. They will be at the club next season, and they will play games, and it will be the same. And I don't think you can put that on Cherubini, because let's be honest, why would clubs come in for those players? Like, we don't want them. Why should other clubs want them?
Exactly, and they're on high salaries. Why would other clubs give them that money?
Issue. Because this summer it changed. Locatelli came in like last season, excuse me, under the previous management, he would come in and he would be on almost 4 million euros, easy. Now he's on 3.2 with bonuses included. And that's why I say, because there's talks about Bernardeschi getting a new deal for 3.5. I'm like, wait, he's been here for 5 years. He's not been good over 5 years. Like, it's if the standards for him has been dropped every
standards
season.
Are a goal a season for a winger.
It's not good. That's that. And he should be getting 3.5 million euros more than Locatelli. I think that's kind of disgraceful. And that's again, the balance is not right in the squad. So that's why I'm saying just let him go. Even if I liked him, which I don't, and I'm not gonna lie about it. There are a lot of players I don't like in this club. Because remember, like 5 seasons ago, I liked everyone. I liked Badawi. I liked Pepe. I liked those players because they actually,
Zaza.
they contributed. Even Giaccherini, they contributed.
Yeah.
But these players,
everybody had a purpose in the club.
But these players, Bernardeschi, he had a good month, and I credit him for that. But like one good month, if I need to wait,
1 good month in 5 years.
Yeah, he has some good weeks in 5 years. Like, but consistently, if you're consistently not good enough, at best you can be a squad player, but not on high wages.
Remember when he gave that interview with Italy after he got like 2 assists against San Marino?
Embarrassing.
And he was like, he's like alla nazionale un po' rischio la giocata, which means with the national team I can risk the game, and at Juve I can't do that. After 2 assists against San Marino.
And he also said like, here they know how to play me, so he's basically taking shots to Pirlo, and I'm like, you played under Pirlo, you were terrible. You are.
Yeah, he literally had no right to say that whatsoever.
No. You had no right to do that, and I thought it was really disrespectful. Hanina's asking for the match review. We will get into it now. Okay, so Milan Juve tomorrow.
Yes.
So Atalanta drop points, which, it's good. I prefer them to lose also because like they had no squad available. They had 12 players and then some youth players. Even the starting 11 looked bad.
The midfielder next to, who was it? I forget. If Deron or Freuler started, the midfielder next to him was a center back playing at midfield. By the way, a youth player center.
And
playing
to be honest, they played well. They played
better than Lazio.
Yeah. Again, I don't rate Lazio. I said it before. I don't think they're a good squad. But I just hope they somehow would have pulled it off. Like, if you don't win against this Atalanta side, well, you're in big trouble to even compete for 6th place. But yeah, so they drop points. But even if they didn't drop points, I said, because Milan lost against Spezia, which was nobody predicted that. I said you need to win that game tomorrow even more, because you need to drag Milan into a top 4 race. The more teams into a top 4 race, the better for us, because teams get nervous. Every points drop can be important for any team. So that's why I said it's even more important tomorrow. And also, it's before the international break. We come back. We have Verona, then Atalanta. Milan come back. They have Inter. We can be in a, like, if we win, again, it's an if, but we can be in a top 4, maybe in 3rd place in 2 weeks' time. And let's say 2 months ago, that would be almost impossible. Like, the way we play, we were 10 points behind at some point. It looked weird. Like, no, like I said, it's done, because we were playing really bad, and the other teams above us were just unstoppable. They looked unstoppable, and now we can be in a position to say we are in it. But and we have that in our own hands. That's the most, why do you want to say it? The most basically interesting part of it. Now we can see that the mentality, in my opinion, that the mentality in the club changed. Do the players finally understand the importance of the moment? Because we need to win a game away from home against a big team. We need to do that now. But yeah, that's what I think about tomorrow's game. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a big one tomorrow. I sort of felt the same way when we played Atalanta
Yeah.
2 months ago, where we needed to win that game because we had a couple of easy game afterwards.
Yeah.
Which yeah, we lost Atalanta. We beat most of the easy team, drew to Venezia though,
Yeah.
and yeah, when we lost Atalanta, I basically more or less gave up on top four, which sounds mad, I know.
No,
But
it's fair.
but yeah, with the way we were playing and like the way things were, I think I was right to believe that. But now we're in a better place. If we win tomorrow, I like our chances for top four. And yeah, but like a draw, I think would also be an okay result.
Yeah.
Not the best, but an okay result, because if we draw and win our next few games against Verona and Atalanta, we'd still be in a good place. But we have to win tomorrow. Plus, if we win tomorrow, we'll be 4 points behind Milan. Title challenges Milan, by the way, in our worst season in 20 years or 30 years.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a good point, to be honest. I would be very, like, if we lose tomorrow, I will go off. Like, we cannot lose that game.
Yeah, we
Like,
can't. We can't.
you cannot lose that game. If you lose that game, it's basically going back to square one, like mentality wise, point wise. Like, it's a big step backwards. It's a big step out of the top four race, in my opinion. It's before the international break. Like, it's not good going into the national break with the feeling like, oh, we kind of blew it. Like, instead of going into the top four, we are further away from top four. Would I take a point? No, unless I watch the game tomorrow and I'm at the end of the game, I'm like, how did we get away with 1 point over here?
Yeah,
I will
exactly.
take that. I will take
Exactly.
that. But if the game is even, which I do expect that the game will be even.
Yeah, Milan have many absences tomorrow.
Yeah, also,
especially in defense.
and also, even if they had their full squad, I still will be confident that we get something out of it. I would. So if we play well tomorrow and we get away from 1 point, I will be very disappointed.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I said it against Julian in the podcast. We need a win away to a big four, a top four team. We need a away win.
Yeah, that would do our confidence very well as well.
That's what that will be. Such a massive boost. Like, going there, winning, and basically telling everybody, okay, we are in the top four race, and we actually are in the top four.
Yeah,
like, we're
exactly.
back. I don't want to say we're back. We're not back, but
no.
We were far away 2 months ago, and we are in the mix now again. Mm-hmm. That would be massive, also because like we had some tough games this month, then Atalanta, and then we have a stretch of quote unquote easier games.
Yeah, easier games.
It's only Inter at home, and I think Lazio at home. Yeah.
Like we have a stretch.
Lazio and Fiorentina are the last 2 games of the season.
Yeah, Lazio and Fiorentina are the last 2 games of the season.
So
before that, the games are relatively straightforward, except Inter.
It's Inter, yeah. So it's a big game tomorrow, and tomorrow and the first 2 games after the break, big games, because I think momentum is very important. We need to keep the momentum, and I think we can shift everything in terms of mentality wise for us and for other teams, like winning
sends a message.
Yeah, it sends a message, and it puts pressure on everybody. Not now, the pressure is on us because we are trying to catch them. We are team with pressure, and that's why I said tomorrow we will see if the team finally understood the importance of the moment, because that's what Allegri said. Like, the team now needs to understand how important these stretch of games are, because you can basically throw away or make your season now.
Yeah, this makes or break our season. This is the game where at the end of the season we'll look back and say, "Oh, this was the turning point." Or if God forbid, we don't make top 4, we'll say this was the game where it all went wrong.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Let me see. Also, 38 people watching, only 18 likes. So get the likes up, and I will read out some comments. I need to say Fiorentina is going to be tough. We always lose points to them. These last couple of years, I agree, but I think we will beat them at home. I really do. Uh, whoa, no, no, no. On Google says I don't mind losing tomorrow as long as Inter doesn't win the Scudetto. No, I do mind.
No, no.
Like, you see,
Honestly, I don't care who wins the
I agree.
Scudetto. We just need to make top four. It's
Like,
gonna be huge for next season as well because
yeah,
financially and like signing players, obviously it's
because
huge.
I see a lot of people stressing over it, saying, "Ah, I'd rather have us winning and nobody else." But that's not happening. So if
Yeah,
we are not
exactly.
winning, I don't really care who's winning. I,
Yeah,
I'm just thinking about ourselves, and we need to win that game. We really need to win that game. For last, like you said, for the summer, it's important because basically we're not signing Dybala and Quadrado to a new deal because the club is waiting to see February. That's what we are saying. Winning tomorrow, winning Atalanta and all those games. If they see in February, we're in the top four race, like 5 points clear, 6 points clear, and the feeling around the club is like we're gonna keep it up. We're making top four. That will change a lot for us. Um,
exactly. Because otherwise we'd keep making more and more financial losses, which
yeah,
which will send us in deeper into the hole that we're in right now.
yeah, it's
You
a
know,
big hole. it's a,
it's a huge hole.
it's
It's a very depressing hole.
yeah. Again, and I think if the pandemic didn't happen, we would be in a better
Oh,
situation because
definitely,
we still
definitely.
like we before the pandemic we were trying to spend 100 million euros for Pogba.
Yeah. It's
Well,
gonna happen. Romano
it
said
was
it
gonna
many
happen.
times.
It was
Yeah,
gonna happen. So we had the money, but and also Italy, like 5,000 people in the stands, and even if the stadium is open, the stands are still empty. It's not a good moment for the club financially. Um,
exactly.
Especially the way Agnelli set up the club with fans who need
Yeah,
to go watching. They're only coming if there is a successful team on the pitch. They're not traveling to watch this. Like, let's be
yeah.
honest.
And didn't he ban like most ultras from the games and stuff?
Yeah, like he banned a few because we know, but he banned a few. But now
Hmm.
he banned everything. Not everyone. You can still come in, but you cannot bring in flags and all those things. So they
Oh,
decided we're not coming at all because there were issues with, let's say, 10 people, and he's taking it on.
on
He's
everybody.
on everybody. Even away games, he's banning. How do you want to say, drums and all those things? He's banning those
Hmm.
things. It's not good. It's not a good situation because I
No.
I, I go to, usually I go at least one game a season. I go to the stadium, and the last two seasons you can feel it into the stands. Like it wasn't the same. Like the atmosphere was dying a bit. It was becoming more. How do you want to say it? More. Like more sightseeing, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, I get what you mean. And when I went to Turin a few times for Juve games, but this was back in 16, 17, and
Yeah, that.
17, 18. The atmosphere was incredible.
Yeah, yeah,
I went to Ronaldo's home debut against
yeah,
Lazio as well, and we won 2-0. Atmosphere was incredible.
yeah.
It's beautiful. It's sad. It's sad that it's not the same anymore. I see through the TV how empty the stands are, even when capacity is allowed, obviously. And it's just sad. It's heartbreaking.
It is. It is because when stadium was rocking, it was just fun to watch games. To sit in the stadium, like the atmosphere, you can feel it, and people think it's not true. But when the team is struggling, even if it's against Genoa at home, those fans they push you, like they actually push you. Because I remember Khedira coming out because one time they weren't banned, but they had some issues, so they left the stadium at midway in the first half. And after the game, Khedira said like, "It's I hope this never happens because we struggle. Like you struggle. If you're in a difficult moment, the fans can actually push you. They can.
Yeah, it
And
makes a
now it's
difference.
it's an away game. Like even on TV, you just hear the away fans sing, and away games where they travel for away games, you can hear the fans singing in away games, which is weird. It's not
Yeah,
normal, but it is what it is.
it's embarrassing as well. Like
It
in
is.
home games, you'd hear like Milan fans, Inter fans, Napoli fans just chanting, and like our fans are silent.
It is.
Sad.
It's really sad to see. Because I think the last game I went to watch, I think it was before the last game before the pandemic happened was against Milan at home when Ronaldo was taking off and he left the stadium. Dybala came on and he scored.
Yeah.
I think that was the last game I went to the stadium. I'm pretty sure it was the last game. So yeah, it was. And then the pandemic happened, I think. Or I had a game booked, but then the pandemic happened. So I still have my hotel booked. For 2 years now, I'm moving it. To be honest, I'm not going to the stadium now because it's not worth paying it. It isn't. And not because the team is playing well. I don't care. I would still go. But the atmosphere it's just not worth paying.
Because it's intoxicating.
Yeah, because the tickets, they are expensive.
Oh yeah, they're very expensive, the tickets.
Because some people, they don't believe me what we pay for a ticket against Cagliari. It's insane.
Sometimes what, 70 euros, 80, 90, 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, by the way.
Sometimes the ticket prices are more expensive than the flight for me.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember one game I paid 135 euros for a ticket, and my flight from Belgium to Torino and back was 100 euros.
Wow.
It was insane, but that's the situation now. But yeah, I didn't make the lineup graphic because it was changing completely. But the predicted lineup is Chesney, is De Sciglio, it's Chiellini, it's Alexandro, it's Quadrado, Locatelli, McKennie, Rabiot, and Dybala, Morata up front. So Rabiot on the left again, and Alexandro.
What we love to see, don't we? Our favorite left side.
I was gonna ask you, like, Rabiot, Alexandro on the left. What do you think if you see that?
I just my brain dies when I see that. Honestly, like that left side is the most unthreatening, useless left side in European football.
Yes.
Like no, there is no supply for the strikers. There is no energy. There's no coordination. There's nothing. It genuinely offers nothing. That left side, especially Rabiot. Rabiot isn't a winger.
No, and that's the. I want to say funny, but it isn't funny. It's depressing. But that's that's actually the crazy part of it. He's not a winger, and he keeps playing in there, and
he's so persistent with it.
Yeah, and when he plays in that position, I almost every time I forget he's on the field. I really forget that.
Yeah,
it's insane because I was watching. I told that to Julian on the Belgian channel. I don't know which game it was. And around the 70th minute, Rabiot made a foul, and the commentary was like, "Oh, he's still on the pitch. I forgot." And I was like, "Okay, it's not just me. Like even he forgot. Like
it's all of us. Then we can't see him on the pitch.
It's unbelievable. Like that's an actual talent to basically ghost an entire 90 minutes.
Yeah,
unbelievable. I understand. I don't understand why he keeps doing that. Because in no time and no game has that worked.
Yeah, I remember when he first did it, I was like, "Oh, this could be like a new Mandzukic role where he discovers something." No, I was completely wrong, and I take that back.
Yeah, he's not Mandzukic.
Not at all.
But yeah, like that's looking at that lineup, and again, Milan are missing a lot of players. But
Kier,
Kessie
Tomori,
is at the Africa Cup. Tomori, he's still out.
Yeah, still out. Ben Nasser.
He's back, but I don't know if he's gonna play.
I don't think they'd play him
because Arteta played Art Party and he picked up a
Oh
red
no!
card.
Did you see how he looked?
Yeah,
The photo
he was like,
he
oh,
looked like
come
he had
on.
no sleep.
No, it's insane. He just landed like a few hours before, I think.
Yeah,
It was unbelievable. And now he's missing a league game also, a Premier League game.
yeah.
It's insane. So I don't know. Maybe he will play Benacer because he has no options or not a lot of options. I think Giroud will play up front over Ibrahimovic. I think he will start Giroud because he's actually playing good this season, in my opinion.
Him and Leo have been
Yeah,
their best players this season, probably.
yeah. Because again, knock on wood, because I don't want to jinx it. Julian jinx it, saying Rebic is not playing well, but every time he faces us,
No,
Rebic,
Rebic scores against us like it's fun for him.
it's
No,
unbelievable.
we won't speak about Rebic.
Like, yeah, Julian already did. So if he does something,
No, Julian. No.
need to thanks Julian. He did in the podcast. I tried to stop him, but yeah, he did the same with Zeko before Inter, and then he scored. Like he cost him out for like 2 minutes, and then he scored. But yeah, Leao also, he's doing well this season. He's more consistent. He's not the finished article, but he's an actual good player. But last season he was very inconsistent. He reminded me of Betancourt, but excuse me, Bernardeschi. But he's actually better than Bernardeschi in my opinion.
He's so much better than.
But this season he's become consistent and he's actually good. He's a threat.
Mm-hmm. He is.
But again, like, if Chiellini and De Ligt play, I want to say sure, but I'm confident.
Yeah. I think we should be able to handle them with our defense. But what I find funny about Milan though is that they make fun of their right side, we make fun of our left side. Yeah, Rabiot, Sandro against Salamakers and Florenzi. So those they're gonna go against each other, by the way. So. That should be interesting.
Like, I don't rate Salamakers at all. But I would take those two over Sandro and Rabiot.
Oh, 100%.
I think Florenzi is actually still a player. Yeah. Sandro, I said it many times, Sandro is not a football player for this level anymore. Like,
yeah, it's shocking. I don't know how this happened. No. 16-17, when we went to the Champions League final, everyone was saying, oh, it's the second best left back in the world after Marcelo. Yeah. And I remember Chelsea wanted him for 60 million. In hindsight, we should have accepted that, you know? But at the time, we were like, no, we didn't want to let him go because he was very good for us.
I agree. And someone mentioned that. And I was thinking back, I don't remember what I said at the time. Probably I said keep him because we were actually in a good position, and 60 million is a lot of money, but we were in a good position and he was playing very well, so I was like, no, don't sell him. But I think 2018, 19, like that should be, especially 19, that even then Chelsea were interested. The price came off, which was normal because he was playing horrible or not good enough anymore. Then that was a moment we should have said you need to go, but we kept him on so long, and he's on 6 million euros now. It's a problem. It's a big problem.
I hear reports we could replace him this summer with Cambiaso from Genoa.
Again, like, first of all, someone needs to buy Alexandro and pay his wages.
Exactly. Yeah.
And secondly, I watched Cambiaso. He's not ready. Like he still hasn't completed his first season in Serie A. Yeah. Every time we're linked to a player like this that that's still very raw and hasn't had enough experience at the top level, and I just can't see a future for them at Juve. Either they're gonna be sent to the under 23 and used for some plus Valencia deal, or they're gonna be sent on loan and we're never gonna hear from them ever again. I agree, because, like, do you think he comes in, Allegri's gonna play him?
No experience? Definitely not. Definitely. I think he'd rather play Chiellini at left back next season than Cambiaso as a starter.
Yeah. Like, he will not do that. And we are not linked to left backs at all. Like, no left back. Yeah, Cambiaso, but I mean, no left backs at all. So I think he's gonna stay. I keep saying that. We need a left back. We need a starting left back. I don't think Pellegrini is a starting left back. Like,
He's
I,
a good backup, but
yeah,
he,
I want
he
him to
isn't
play over
not
Sandro
consistent.
because, well, it's this bad. Sandro's
Yeah,
that bad. I'm like, but I don't. Pellegrini is not the answer to me because
yeah,
from what I've seen defensively, it's not good. Like,
exactly. I'd rather we play you at left back than Sandro.
yeah, yeah. Like, I cannot believe that he
Honestly,
keeps playing Sandro because tomorrow he's rumored to start again. I cannot believe it.
yeah, it's unbelievable. De Chilio's on good form, especially on the left. I think he should start.
The Chile will start on the
It's
right.
and it's crazy to say. Imagine 2 years ago you'd
Yeah,
say, "Oh, I want De Chilio to start
remember
over Sandro."
because
That's how bad it is.
that's also a topic. Will we give the Chile a new contract? And I'm like, my issue with the Chile is fitness, not his play. His
Yes,
fitness
yeah,
because
yeah.
as a backup
He's a good
option,
backup to have. Yeah,
yeah,
he's a
as a
good
backup
backup to have.
option, I have no problem with it at all because we're in no position to be Man City and have Cancelo and Kyle Walker. Like, we don't have that. So I will take the
Exactly.
Chile on a backup. But will he accept 2 million euros max? Will he do that? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because he, like, if he accepts 2 million euros, I will do it. I will
Yeah,
keep him.
100%,
I will keep
100%.
him. But not for 4 years or so. The deal should be 2+1 or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
Otherwise, it's gonna be the same issue
yeah,
as Rabiot Bentancur in
yeah,
the sense that it's gonna be hard to move him on.
yeah. I agree. I agree. Let me see in the comments. Crazy Racing. I wonder if Rabiot could play left back. He's a big presence, and he
Oh,
played that with France in the World
yeah, he
Cup.
played there with France. He was a disaster in the
That
Euros. He was an absolute mess.
I remember that game because Julian was texting me, and he was getting cooked every single uh, attacking moment from the opposition. It was insane, and he looked so out of place. And I was like,
Yeah.
Deschamps, like, Jesus, like, come on, put him out of his misery and sub him off because it was sad to watch. Like, he cannot play left back. He cannot do that.
Yeah, when he played there, I was thinking, oh, maybe he could be a good replacement for Sandro, maybe. And plus, it gets him out of the midfield where he does so many awful things.
Yeah.
But no, please no, never. Rabiot left back, never,
No, no,
never.
no, no. Then I'd rather have him at left wing than left
Yeah,
back.
exactly. Yeah, and that says a lot, by the way.
Because at left wing, you actually, again, Sandro's not good at defending anymore. Especially when, I keep saying that when a cross is being made into the box, again, in the area of the second post, Sandro, he loses his man consistently. Like,
Yeah, so I think it happened like a solid 5 or 6 times this season
it's unbelievable.
against Chelsea, against Samp. I'm sure there are many. I'm just forgetting, but yeah, it's he loses his marker so many times. It's unbelievable.
Because my issue is, like, we can see it and we are fans and we have no real football knowledge. Like, we can talk things, and maybe if Allegri watches this and he's like, what the hell are you saying? Like, that doesn't make sense, and that's fair. But we can see Alexandro making those mistakes consistently, and I'm like, do they really don't see it? Like, it's just
Yeah,
us? Is it just
exactly.
us?
I feel like Allegri chooses to blind himself from certain things that the players do.
Yeah.
And like we see it because it happens so consistently and it's so frustrating, you know? It's the
Yeah.
bad sort of consistency. We want the player to play consistently. Well, they're playing consistently bad. And
Yeah.
it's been like that for a solid 2 years.
I agree. Like you said, even like this season alone, I can pick up 4 plays: Chelsea, Inter, Napoli. Okay, Inter maybe not. Napoli, Genoa,
Yeah.
Sampdoria. Excuse me.
Yeah, Samp. Yeah.
And even after 2-1, he did that again. But I don't know which Sampdoria player it was. He forgot to pass the ball because he was wide open. Because again, he was completely out of position,
I remember that. Yeah.
and the Sampdoria player didn't make the pass. Thank God, because he was wide open, and that could have been 2-2 maybe. But his awareness in the box is kind of scary. It's actually really scary, his awareness. He has no awareness in the box.
Yeah.
So
His mistake against Inter.
yeah, that's
What was he thinking?
like, based on that at all, he shouldn't be starting games.
Yeah.
Come
Exactly.
on, like you cannot do that in a final when the trophy is like 20
Uh,
seconds and you're going to penalties.
I was mentally ready for
Yeah,
penalties, and
me
then
also.
I just see that happening, and I'm like, what the hell,
Unbelievable because he's a how you want to say it, like he's an experienced player.
Yeah, he played in a Champions League final. He starts for Brazil every time.
Also
Uh,
crazy.
yeah, he starts every week for us, and like still, his level keeps going down and down. And at one point, he was one of the best in his position. It's shocking how this happened.
Yeah, I agree because I met him. I met him. I saw him. I wanted to talk with him, but I didn't. He was outside my hotel. He was just walking in a fruit market. He was buying fruit. That was back in 2018. Uh,
Oh, okay, so when he was still at like a decent
yeah, and
level.
I was thinking about like the drop off is
It was still noticeable in that season. I think 17, 18. I know he got 4 goals and 4 assists that season, but
yeah,
still,
yeah.
like in the quality of his play, there was a significant decrease from the season before.
It looked like he's I don't want to say one season wonder, but even before that Champions League run, the season before he was actually also good.
Yeah, he
He
was.
was good like that Champions League run. It was just unbelievable. But a lot of the players like Mandzukic that season, insane. Like
Higuain.
Higuain, like everybody kind of peaked that season.
Yeah,
Besides in the final when everybody decided to not peak.
yeah,
Um,
and apparently everyone had a fight in the locker room. Dani Alves
yeah,
and Bonucci. Do you think that's true, by the way?
something happened because again
Yeah,
Bonucci left.
I saw the Dani Alves. Yeah,
Bonucci left. He said about the Porto game. A lot of people like I don't think that's based on one moment in the season. I think
yeah,
something happened.
yeah.
I think Dani Alves said something about it. Not really said, but like was fishing towards it that something happened.
I don't. Dani Alves was very shady after
Yeah,
leaving
yeah, I
Juve.
agree. I
He was
agree.
very shady.
I agree. But it is what it is. Let me see.
Yeah.
Fabrizio confirmed interest. Yeah. How serious are the Betancourt rumors? Should we be happy? Or the source is not reliable? I don't believe Max comment about the Mercato. Yeah, you shouldn't be. You should not believe Allegri saying the Mercato is closed. He says that always. He's not coming out and saying, "Yeah, we're trying to move Arthur. We're trying to
Yeah,
bring in a
yeah.
midfielder." Right. He's not
He's
doing
not,
that.
he's not gonna be like us, where we could go on Twitter and be
Yeah,
like, "Oh, we should sell Arthur. We should buy this player and that player." Just it's not gonna happen. It doesn't look professional, and like I think our fans need to understand that sometimes, because sometimes the expectations of what Max says in the press conferences is just unrealistic.
I agree. I agree. Let me see in the comments before we wrap it up. We were linked to Cambiaso. Yeah, we talked
Yeah.
about it. Yeah. So, guys, if you didn't like the video, like it because we're almost wrapping it up. We're going into the prediction now.
Mhm.
So you can go first tomorrow.
Tomorrow. I think it's gonna be a 1-0 Juve, like one of those victories, where it's a Allegri masterclass.
Yeah,
Obviously painful to watch, but at the end of the game, you're just so happy. That's what Allegri does to you. I hope that's the case, and I think so. I think Morata's gonna score.
okay. But that's true what you said. Like what you said. Like, and at the moment we need points more. Like
Yeah, exactly. I
we
don't
just need the
care how we
points.
get the points. Just 3 points, please.
I agree. We just need the points now. I'm going 2-1,
2-1.
and I'm going Dybala and Morata.
Mhm.
I think we will win. I actually believe that. And again, someone will say in the comments every time
We jinxed it.
yeah, every time I predict the win, we lose.
Oh no. No,
um,
but I think the players know how important this game is tomorrow. And yeah, and one thing Allegri always says, when he says a game is important, we tend to perform. When he says a game isn't decisive, we tend to, like, be bad. That's
I
something I've noticed.
I agree. I agree. But yeah, like I think it's more hope or a hope, like feeling
Yeah,
that the players
yeah.
understood the moment,
I have
basically.
a good feeling for tomorrow.
Yeah, we need to break that. I don't say curse, but we need to win against a top four team.
Yeah,
Uh, we need to do that now, and this is the biggest moment, not the biggest moment. That is a key moment in the season, like you said, like we said before the international break. You come back, they face Inter, you face Verona, but then you face
yeah.
Atalanta. You can be in the top four race in a few weeks, and you have that in your own hands, basically, by just winning
Mm.
games. It sounds easy, uh,
It's
but let's see tomorrow.
easier said than done. Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, that's true. Um, Hanina saying you believe you will win. Yeah, I said we will win against Napoli, but like, if I say we don't win, people call me negative. If I say we win, people say I jinx it. Uh,
I was gonna predict a draw, by the way, but I changed my mind.
oh, that's that's
Yeah,
always bad. That's always bad. Changing your
yeah, yeah,
mind. No, I'm going with a win. Mainly because we need that win.
yeah.
That's why it's like we need that win, so I'm going with a win. Um, but yeah, so yeah, that's that. So that's a preview for tomorrow's big game against Milan, must-win game. Thanks Malik for joining because
No, it's my pleasure.
Justin is sick, and Julian was not allowed to come on from his
To
wife. Oh, that's not true. I think he's moving. He's moving. He's going to a new house. I think he's moving. But he will be back tomorrow. Me and Justin will do a reaction video, and Julian will do a live, but it will be a late live for me. So it will be midnight for me, but for a lot of people, it will just be, I don't know, 10 p.m. for a lot of people. So that's that. Again, if you you can say what you want now. You're on.
yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Keep the growth of the channel going.
Yeah.
And was very nice being on here. I hope to be on here again soon.
Yeah.
If you guys want. If you guys didn't find me boring. So yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so thanks again for joining. Thanks everybody
No
for
worries.
watching. As always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will be back